way it works is like you may reincarnate as like an animal.
Can I ask you a
even-
question?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question? Sorry about
Yes,
that.
that's okay.
So when you talk about reincarnation, does it
Yes.
keep happening or it only happens once?
It would keep happening.
So you think it already happened with you already, or
Yeah, probably.
so what were you before?
I don't know.
So how are you gonna reform yourself if you don't remember?
Yeah, that's one thing I remember I used to wonder about too.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it would make sense for you to remember.
And
what
there's one
happened
more
before.
thing that it's a really important thing that you'd have to actually question that, okay? Because you don't remember what were you before.
Yeah.
And so how are you going to reform of the wrongs that you have done that resulted in this body? And how are you going to correct that? So how many times have you actually reincarnated? You don't remember that.
Yeah.
The first thing. Second thing is, you said become as an animal or everything, like, or whatever.
Yes.
So the cycle, see, I have studied Buddhism.
Yes.
Okay, I've studied Buddhism. Buddha means the enlightened one.
Yeah.
Okay, and the person who, his name was Gautama Siddhartha. He has a parents, right? And we believe that Gautama Siddhartha, he never denied the creator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was born from the womb of his mother.
Yeah.
Right? Coming back to the reincarnation part of it, the crime on this earth, on the planet, is increasing or decreasing? The evil.
I guess it would depend on like where you look.
No, overall, holistically,
I guess like overall, I would say probably
the crime rate is up or is it down? You don't even have to think about it.
down. I think overall, like
Crime rate is down?
yeah, globally, I think.
Crime rate is down? People are behaving, you think?
Yeah, I think. Well, it depends on the country. 'Cause I
There's
know
less
maybe-
murder, less rape, less robbery, less alcoholism, less drug addiction. Is that what you think is happening around the world?
Well, I know there's less murder overall, but I think drug addiction is up.
Bro, according to the
Yeah.
US Department of Justice, if you go on the website of Info Police,
Yeah.
okay, it says that every 6 seconds, a case of rape takes place in America. These are the registered cases of rape. Okay, every 3 seconds, there's a robbery that gets registered in America.
Yeah.
These are the registered cases of robbery. There are a lot of crime that doesn't even get registered.
Yeah, I guess I would say. Well, I don't know if it's like increasing or decreasing, but I know that
So
there's
police
like
forces,
a lot of
police forces all over the world is increasing.
Yeah.
They're increasing the military and everything. Get what I'm saying? They're increasing their enforcement, services. Why are they? Because the crime is up.
Yeah.
Get what I'm saying? So with your logic of reincarnation, of birth, death, and coming back as an animal, and then whatever.
Yeah.
If the crime is increasing, then the population should decrease. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
The population of the animals should be increasing, and the population of the human beings should be decreasing.
Yeah.
Because the crime is up with that logic. But currently, do you know how much is the world population we are sitting on? Close to
We
8 billion.
just hit 8 billion.
8 billion.
8 billion, right? So the population of the human beings are increasing,
Yeah.
though the crime is increasing. If the crime is increasing, the population should decrease and the population of the animals should increase. Because the people who die should come back as an animal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get what I'm saying? So this whole concept, my dear brother, is illogical.
Yes.
What we believe is in the afterlife. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions in the Quran, and this is logical, this is rational.
Yes.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions in the Quran, in one of the chapters of the Quran, in Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse 185. Allah says, Kullu nafsin zaiqatul maut. Every soul shall taste death. But the final recompense will be on the day of judgment. Okay? You created, and then you die. And after you die, there's going to be a judgment day.
Yes.
Right? The day of accountability. You know where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Almighty God, He's going to judge people based on the doings that they have done.
Yeah.
Buddha will be held to account as well. Because he's the creation of God.
Yes.
Get what I'm saying? So with that logic of reincarnation, of coming back as an animal or whatever, so there are flaws to that. We just discussed it already, right? We don't know what we were before. So if you don't remember what you were before, how are you going to reform yourself? That's the biggest flaw. The second thing is the crime is increasing, so the population should decrease and the population of the animals should increase. Even that's not happening.
Yes.
Right? So it's logical for us to believe that there is a creator, who doesn't become his creation to know what is good or what is bad for his creation. What he does, he chooses a man amongst men whom he communicates on a higher level, whom we call them as prophets and messengers. To these prophets and messengers, God give them the revelation, the guidance to guide the human beings. Right? And based on the doings that you have done, everything that begins to exist has to come to an end. Will die, right? He's just having
You'll have too much fun.
too much fun, yeah. So everything that begins to exist has to come to an end. And when the end comes, there's going to be the judgment day. There's going to be the day of accountability. And based on the doings that you have done in this earth, you know, on this life that that's been given to you, you'll be granted either hell or heaven by the mercy of the Creator.
What do you think about that? Like, how do you feel?
Does it sound more logical?
Yes.
There's always room to reflect.
Yeah, I'll have to think
Right.
about that. Because there's definitely a couple of questions there.
Right.
Because if you're doing something, you should be held accountable for it.
Yeah.
And like so many atrocities have occurred on this earth, and as if you don't believe in an afterlife and in heaven and hellfire, then all these crimes have been committed. Nothing happened to these people. Like Hitler, Stalin, they killed so many people.
Yeah.
They died, got away with it, and then now there's nothing for them. So the punishment has to be severe for those crimes. And that's why we need to have an afterlife, and not any type of afterlife, but something that's severe, where people remember what they were.
Something
they
that's
were
just.
reminded. Yeah, that's just.
You know.
So, like reincarnation does not exactly do justice to that.
I mean, logically, we just diffused it.
Yeah.
Like,
Look
there's
at-
two arguments for you to reflect because you are a person who's thinking.
Yes.
You know, and read the Quran.
Yeah. I'll
Read the Quran because this is the book that satisfies your intellect. You know.
Do you think that like the belief in the creator makes sense?
I think so. Yeah. I
Like,
do.
would you consider yourself a theist or just still
Um,
unsure?
At this point, still unsure.
Okay.
But I don't know. Definitely a lot more than I used to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Perhaps this little paper would be good. Because imagine you kind of just wake up on a train. You would have three questions. You would ask, why am I here? Where am I going? And where did I come from? You know? But a lot of people on this earth, they don't care. They like wake up, they go to work, eat, sleep, have kids, and then die, and then never worry about why they're here in the first place, right? And then they don't care what's going to happen after. Even though perhaps the messages come to them, people have asked them to think about it, but they never cared. They just wanted to do their own thing, enjoy life.
So in this chapter of the Quran, God asks a really profound question. Right? He says, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Almighty God, He asks a very profound question in the Quran. And when we talk about God, we have a definition of God. Right? Because a lot of people, when they mention God, they're mentioning about a creation.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, when you ask, oh, do you believe in God? They say that, hey, yeah, I believe in God. But when you ask them to define who their God is, they're going to say, okay, I worship this tree. You know, I worship some human beings. Right? I worship animals. So these things are all the creation of the Creator.
Yes.
So there is a difference between the creation and the Creator. So when we talk about God, God defines Himself in the Quran.
Yeah.
He says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Say He is God, the one and only. He's only one.
Yeah.
Allahu Samad. God the absolute and eternal. That means, what does absolute and eternal mean? It means everything is dependent on Him and He is independent of everything. You cannot have a God who is dependent on something for something. It ceases to be God. It's a fake God, tin God. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He begets not, nor was He begotten. You cannot have a God who gives birth to somebody and who was himself begotten by somebody. Why does He need to have children? Why does He need to be begotten by somebody? He is the Creator. Everything comes to Him as a slave in total submission. Walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. There is nothing but like unto Him. The moment He can contain a mental picture of any being, that being cannot be God. This is basic 4-line definition of God. So any being that anybody worships, let them put any of the deities to this poll and test, they'll fail. So that God, He defines He defines Himself in the Quran, and after defining, He mentions and asks a very profound question. In one of the chapters of the Quran in Surah At-Tur, you can open 305. 305, yeah. See, right there.
Oh, you have it open.
Yeah, he had it ready already. Read verse number 35. Or were they created by nothing, or they were their own creators? So God is asking this question: did you create yourself, or were you created out of nothing? Or did you create the heavens or the earth? Verily, they have no firm belief. You know, there's a reason a lot of people who don't believe in God, they don't have certainty. They don't have the firmness because they don't know for certainty.
Yeah.
They only guess.
Yeah.
Maybe this, maybe that. You know what I mean?
Videoing this crap?
Yeah. Crap? What do you mean crap?
Well, I don't know. Just what you're doing here. I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't,
yeah.
don't worry, your face will
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You know you're videoing this stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You
obvious.
allow me to do?
You don't need permission.
You don't need a permission for that. Do they allow you to walk on the street?
Seen people here before.
Yeah.
I've seen other people here before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is a public place. You don't need to.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, so what I was getting at is that those three questions. Did you create yourself? You didn't
No.
create yourself.
No, I didn't.
Were you created out of nothing? You were not created out of nothing because nothing begets nothing.
Yeah.
If I have nothing
I
to
have
give you,
something, so-
Yeah.
yeah, I have nothing to give you, I cannot give you anything.
Yeah.
You know, were you the creators of the heavens and the earth? Verily, they don't have firm belief. So we know that after answering these questions, we only come to one conclusion, that there has to be a creator who is an uncreated creator. And that uncreated creator created the whole universe. And after creating the whole universe, he didn't just leave people to wander around on their own. He guided them by sending them prophets and messengers, by giving them the guidance. Just reflect a little on these things, and then I'm sure
Yes.
because you're open-minded already, because you're searching for the truth at this point, and God guides those who actually ask Him for guidance. So what I would suggest to you is to ask God, in isolation, to guide you.
Okay.
Right?
We're not asking you to ask a person
Yeah.
Yes.
to
The
guide
creator.
you.
Just close your eyes and then
the
ask
creator.
Him, the creator.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not a tree or a human being or an idol or
The
sun or the moon.
Christians will tell you to pray to Jesus, but
Yeah.
Jesus is a human being, so he's not gonna be able to help.
He's a creation who was circumcised on the 8th day.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about this?
pretty good. I think I'm going to give this a
Sounds good. Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
feel free to contact us, okay? Like if you
Yeah.
have any questions, don't worry. Just shoot us an email.
All right.
What was your name?
Ty.
Ty. I'm
Yeah.
Stas.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Stas?
Stas. Yeah.
Asif.
Asif?
Yeah, nice meeting you, brother.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take care,
Have a good
okay?
day.
Yeah.
See you.